The 7-year-long hype of this flash-forward scene is finally gonna be validated, as the Boruto timeskip is just a month away now. The unreal hype of the recent chapters has made people crave the timeskip even more. There is a lot to discuss about how Kishimoto is gonna start off this part of the story, whose hype has kept a majority of Naruto fans hooked to the show for almost a decade now. I personally have some high expectations from the timeskip, and before discussing what I expect from Boruto's side of the story, there is something else that I'm really anticipated about. It's the breathtaking backstory of the newly introduced characters. True story of Amado, the origin of Ida and Demon, and the untold tale of Code is what I think should be shown in the form of flashbacks during the first phase of the timeskip. Amado definitely knows a lot more about the Otsutsuki's than what he has revealed. The way he got his hands on Ida and Demon is pretty mind-boggling. Remember how the karma experiment of Ishiki killed a number of children before he found a successful vessel. Ida and Demon must also be the subjects of such experiments. How were they able to cope up with the DNA of an Otsutsuki god? It should have killed both of them in an instant, considering the outcome of the Jigen experiment. Well, I think this has something to do with them being siblings. After Amado effectively transplanted Shiba's DNA into Ida, he must have realized that there is something in her blood which made her compatible with Shiba's genes. So he decided to perform the same experiment in Demon and became successful there as well. Have you guys noticed how both of them have moon and stars printed on their outfits? Seems like a hint of their Otsutsuki origin. Maybe the ancestors of the siblings were Otsutsukis, specifically the ones mentioned by Momoshiki who turned into gods. This explains how they endured the pressure of Shiba experiment. I'm expecting such interesting backstories to make their way into the timeskip. Amado's exposition is another hype-inducing factor of the show. He definitely had links with more than a single Otsutsuki, cause I think it's not Jigen who introduced him to the remains of Shibai. The daughter revival story that he narrated is also way too fishy. What I believe is that he is trying to grant his daughter the omnipotent powers of an Otsutsuki god that he shall be using in his favor. He wants Akebi to be an Otsutsuki goddess, and since she would be having all the memories of her past, it would end up in him gaining control over her. Or maybe he simply wants her to be immortal, which hints at the cyborg siblings being immortal as well. The first chapter introducing the new Otsutsuki who helped Amado in betraying Jigen would be really crazy. As you know, there are definitely more Otsutsukis in the story. Amado having a connection to them won't be a surprise at all. Moving on from the backstories, a second flash forward sequence of the prologue scene where the Karma Warriors would give some more insights on their ideologies is also very possible. I don't think the timeskip will start off directly from Boruto and Sasuke training. It really needs a kickstart which would be as anticipating as the original one. The death of a major character like Sasuke or an elongated conversation between Boruto and Kawaki can really do the job here. This panel from chapter 75 hints at a mini timeskip happening in the story before the main one. The blood on Kawaki's face can be a reference of him killing somebody, and this panel might be used as a flashback to Boruto's suffering. He could have either killed Sasuke or maybe some other major character. If the mini timeskip theory actually comes true, then maybe the fight of the Hokage mountain is just a couple of chapters away from chapter 81. Talking about Sasuke, he's definitely gonna be around for the first phase of the timeskip, since that's the time when Boruto masters the Kenjutsu. Momoshiki and Sasuke are the only two people that Boruto will be having a verbal conversation during the initial phase of the timeskip. If Momoshiki has given up on his goal of taking over Boruto, it's very likely that he will enlighten him with Shinjutsu knowledge throughout his adventure. I expect him to drop some more hints about the Otsutsuki gods or even the Jogen. He needs Boruto to be safe, to keep staying alive inside of him. Maybe he will teach him the secrets of the Karma along with the Pure Eye. Momoshiki must be knowing the potential threats of Amado's Karma plan, so maybe he will ask Boruto to be cautious of the scientist. His role is gonna be humongous, since he is the only one with immense Otsutsuki knowledge. Now let's move on to the difficulties that Boruto is gonna face in the timeskip. Boruto's life after time jump is more darker than what people are assuming. He has been accused of killing the 7th Hokage, the war hero of the last Shinobi War who has been renowned across the whole world. This will instantly make him an international criminal, and the great nations will send out their strongest shinobis to deal with him. I won't be surprised if Boruto and Sasuke would be battling armies of shinobis at some point in the story. The other major threat for Boruto is none other than Code. He's desperate to kill him cause he sees him as Kawaki, the man who took everything from him. While I really think some new villain will replace Code sooner or later, the fact that his Ten Tails army is too powerful is a really bad news for Boruto. Kawaki is another big danger that can humiliate the life of Boruto in the time skip. While he eventually makes up his mind to protect his brother, I think he will try to hunt him down a few times before eventually giving up. There is apparently a solid way for Boruto to bypass the threat of Kawaki that I'll be discussing by the end of this video. The role of Sarada in the time skip is also worth waiting. I'm really excited about their time skip designs. I hope the teen forms of all the characters will do justice to them. Coming on to the role of Sarada, I think a really interesting plot twist is on its way. That was foreshadowed on the cover of chapter 58. Here you can see a contrast between the red and blue characters. While Aida is seen with gold hair, it was possibly a hint for the collapse of their alliance. Not to mention, when this chapter was released, they were still teammates. Same was the case for Sarada and Mitsuki. But now that Mitsuki is an enemy of Boruto after Omnipotence, it could be that Sarada will oppose him as well. Their relationship could grow parallel to Aida and Code, who were also teammates at some point, but love made them shift their ways. The powers and abilities of Sarada's Mangekyou Sharingan has also been the talk of the town. It would be really great if we get to see her using the special Mangekyou abilities in the very first chapter of the time skip. As for Mitsuki, he is destined to become an antagonistic figure just like his father. The goal of his life would become to protect Kawaki and to kill Boruto. The only way that could lead to the redemption of Mitsuki is Sasuke meeting Orochimaru and explaining the situation to him. Orochimaru, being the creator of techniques that are way too similar to Otsutsuki powers, wouldn't deny the possibility of such event. He might replace Mitsuki with another clone who has the memories of his past life. That would be really interesting to witness. As for the person whose time skip role could turn the story upside down is Himawari. Boruto going against his own sister, who is known to possess a power which even frightened the most broken character, would be really heart-wrenching. I believe Momoshiki is going to be the one who will explain the prowess of Himawari to Boruto. If you want to know what secret powers the daughter of Naruto is hiding, hit the subscribe button, cause that's a topic I will cover in my next video. Himawari could become Sasuke 2.0 if the story continues like this, but her role could drastically change with the return of Naruto and Hinata. The Hokage coming back to Konoha and supporting Boruto instead of Kawaki, since he was unaffected by Omnipotence, is a huge possibility. But something like that would likely happen towards the end of the Konoha destruction arc. Coming back to Boruto, there is something really important that he needs to get done during his time skip training with Sasuke. He needs to make him believe that he is the real son of Naruto. No matter, Sasuke sided with Boruto, but that was upon the request of his daughter. The easy way for Boruto to make Sasuke believe him could be to tell him about the incidents that he had in his life, but that's apparently not how the author has planned the story. Sasuke would only fully trust Boruto after he ends up in fulfilling his resolve of Kawaki's redemption. Talking about the plan of Boruto that will help him accomplish the resolve, I really believe Boruto could fake his own death by the strategy that was narrated by Kawaki before he got his karma. He needs to find a suitable vessel whom he can use the karma on and then die by the hands of Kawaki. In this way, everyone would believe Boruto is no longer alive, but he will continue to save the shinobi world from the shadows. However, Momoshiki won't die if Boruto performs the karma ritual, since their consciousness have been fused with each other. This hints at Momoshiki having huge importance to the plot, cause the story shall eventually introduce new Otsutsukis, where the monster could play a vital role. A backstory of Momoshiki could also be interesting, cause ultimately the story will head into the Otsutsuki world. The Jogan's awakening is yet another mystery of the time skip which needs to be solved. We have seen Boruto with the pure eye before, which means he was born with it. So how will this plot device show up in the time skip? Check out this video to find the answer to that question, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stuff. I will see you next time.